Hi folks, it's James here from Total Balance Chiropractic. So the month of August is Tradies month. So I've donned my Hi-Viz and we're going to dedicate our videos over the next few weeks to our Hi-Viz heroes, the men and women that build, repair and maintain this amazing world around us. Today I want to talk a little bit about the importance of maintaining the most important tool that any tradie has in his or her toolbox, and that's their own body. So why is it important for them to look after themselves? Well, stick around. In a few minutes I'll be back to explain exactly why. Okay, so the most important tool in every tradie's toolbox is obviously their own body. Now, with most of the tradies that we work with, one thing we observe is that most of them are self-employed. If they're not working, then it directly impacts their income and their livelihood. So it's really important that they have a body that functions well and doesn't break down. Now, unfortunately, we also see that many of them are more willing to put time and finance into the maintenance of their Hilux than they are into the maintenance of their own health. So let's look at a little case study. We're going to talk about Joe the Builder. Now, Joe's not a real character, but we're going to use him as an example. So Joe the Builder owns Joe's Building. He's a one-man building contractor, and he specialises in small residential size renovations and extensions. So he's got a couple of jobs on at the moment, an extension and a kitchen reno that he's doing for a couple of different customers. And he's got about 4 or 5 jobs up his sleeve that he's just trying to find the time to get around to get a quote to. Because he's so busy, he hasn't had time necessarily to look after himself as well. So he's let his gym membership lapse. He hasn't made it to his last few chiropractic visits. He's missed out on a couple of Pilates classes, and he's also having trouble finding the time to eat as healthily as he likes. Often his breakfast is ducking past the bakery on the way to the job, and lunch often involves him traversing through the drive-through of one of the many takeaway establishments around our fine city. So it's fair to say that Joe's maybe not feeling at his best. And so one day after work, Joe's in a rush to go home to get back and see the kids, and he's lifting his tools into the back of the Hilux, and bang, all of a sudden he experiences this excruciating back pain. And it's so bad that he doesn't think he can drive himself home. He's got to call his wife to come around and pick him up, and basically he's in bedridden with this pain for the next few days. So he's 3 days in bed, not able to move, popping painkillers. Eventually manages to crawl out of bed, and he gets himself to his chiropractor, gets some adjustments done, feels a bit looser, goes home, does some stretching. But it takes him a full week to be able to get back to the point where he's able to even think about getting back on the job. So what has that meant for Joe financially? Well, first of all, he's had 3 days where he hasn't been able to move, and another week at home recuperating. So that's about a week and a half where he hasn't been able to finish off these 2 jobs. So he's had to call in some labourers and another building mate that he knows to help him out. He's had to pay them their regular hourly rate. So he's lost money on those 2 jobs that he was trying to finish off himself. He's also not managed to get around to quote on any of those other jobs that he had up his sleeve. And so what that's meant is that all of the customers have actually gone with another quote. So he's missed out on those 5 jobs, each of which would have brought in at least 10,000, maybe more, into his back pocket. So it's not just the cost of the lost hours, it's also those potential new jobs that he wasn't able to get to that have cost him money. And so the bill for that 1 week, 1.5 weeks off the tools, can be quite substantial for a small business person like Joe. So when you think about it in that regard, those few $100 that you might spend every month getting to the chiropractor, getting to the gym, going to your physio appointment or your massage, making sure that you're spending time on some food preparation, so you're able to take a healthy lunch to work and you're not rushing around, scrambling for breakfast and drinking your Monster soft drinks to keep the energy up. That bit of extra time and effort and financial input and reinvestment into your own body will pay for themselves many-fold in the long run. Okay, so you only get one body. You can't duck down to Bunnings and pick up a new you. All right, the way you can pick up a new circular saw or anything like that. So look after it, invest in it, and the money you put in will come back to you in spades. Next week, we're going to continue this Tradie series. We're going to talk a little bit about nutrition. We're going to talk a little bit about exercise over the next few weeks. So until next week, Have a fantastic week, and we will see you soon. Bye.